10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Hello and welcome back. We're in for segment 2 of Round 7's Dream Team podcast. And graciously, the legend Gareth Lafsky has decided to stay back and help us out with a few of our discussions and going through the team list. I, of course, have Banksy with me, and I'm Jay. And unfortunately, you're probably already sick of my voice, but that's all right. We've got two others to keep you entertained. Banksy, mate, you've done a fair bit of the research this week on the team list, so I've been a little bit lax in that regard, just trusting on my good looks to get me through. Mate, what can you tell us about the first game up? Roosters Dragons.
Roosters are as expected, with Frank Pornius still injured. The Dragons have Malcolm Wayman coming back on the bench. Watch for late dropouts. Stockwell could get dropped if you got him, so keep an eye out for that.
Ooh, that'll
and
hurt.
Orbison won't start.
Yeah,
Orbison won't
named.
start. He's named in the 13.
It's a usual
Named.
Roosters team.
He
They
won't
won't get
start.
dropped to the bench.
Yep. So it'll be Aiden Guerrero, we reckon, to replace Mitchell Orbison. Orbison to the bench on game day, just to mess with any Dream Team coaches who still have them.
And who we tipping?
Who are we tipping in that one, boys?
You got to
Gotta be
go with
Roosters.
Dragons.
No, Roosters.
Dragons
Roosters
5 and
smash
they've won the last 5 Anzac tests.
No, Roosters
Next
will
day.
smash them. Anzac Day. Come on.
Yeah.
Dragons Day.
No, it's got to
Oh,
be
I'm on
Roosters,
Dragons.
mate. It's got to be Roosters. I'm sorry,
What should
but
we buy Jamie Southrup with a new one?
no.
Alright.
I honestly think it's got to be Roosters. They've just got too much strike power. But just interestingly, Gareth, and for those listeners playing at home who did listen to segment 1 first, we had a bit of a bonding moment and a lamenting moment, Gareth and I, over the trade of Mitchell Orbison into our sides and then, of course, promptly out of our sides. And I've just looked up the stats, Gareth, and mate, we're not alone. 8.51% of
No.
people still hold Mitchell Orbison, and out of all of the teams in Dream Team nationwide, that's 11,128 people.
Wow. And they're all crying.
They're all crying. They're all crying.
Mm.
They're probably all
All
crying
right.
that the world is still flat. But, look, let's move right along and get on to the next team list. All right, let's have a look here, boys. What do we got next? Storm Warriors. I'll tell you what, Banksy, you can do the Storm. And, Gareth, I'm going to throw you in the deep end because I know Banksy hates to do the Warriors, mate. So, Gareth, you can do the Warriors. How's that sound?
Oh, bloody hell. All my Kiwi friends will hate me. That my lack of knowledge in the Warriors.
That's all right. We'll help you
I'll
out.
just tell you this much, Gareth. It's the best team so far this year, in my opinion. All right.
What
The
do we
Storm,
got?
the Storm have basically the same team as they normally put out, but they have Hinchcliffe injured, which means Harris starts as well as Proctor, and they're bringing on Kenneth Bromwich, the brother of Jesse Bromwich, onto the bench. So watch out for him. He'll be playing the second game this week, so he could be a potential cash cow in the front row, second row forward next week.
Interesting cash-out option. Just on that, too, I'll mention the Storm have named an 18th, 19th, and 20th man. Slade, Griffin, Morris, Blair, Justin O'Neill named there. So just keep an eye out 30 minutes before game time coming into that Storm team to make sure you don't get caught out with any last-minute changes. Interestingly, boys,
How fits Slater?
I honestly don't know.
Hopefully they bring Kurt Mann.
It'd be good to see Kurt Mann come up.
Look
Very-
good in the 20s.
But just something that got glossed over there. Tohu Harris, yes, he's starting. We've seen that on and off throughout the year. But he's starting in the lock position wearing the 13. Now, he's been on the edge in the 11 jersey. What do you make of the 13, boys?
He's value. Absolutely. He's just going strength to strength, and now he's a rep player too. He is having a monster year. He is going to go huge by the end of the year.
Daily M Rookie of the Year, reckon?
And yeah, and Bellyache knows how to make a star out of nothing.
He does. That he does.
He's good. He's
Yeah.
good.
correct me if I'm wrong, being lock, as a second row lock, wearing the 13, that brings you into the centre of the field defending, doesn't it?
Yeah, pretty much.
What do we reckon
Like
that's going to...
you'd be floating, but like
Yeah.
And he'll also probably he'd probably go close to getting 80 minutes unless I don't know who else would go in there.
No, he'll get close to 80 minutes, he will.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. So
Yeah.
looking at that, what do we reckon that's going to do to Harris's scores?
Keep them the same.
He'll be about 40.
He'll be about 40?
I reckon he'll hit 40 this week.
Yeah, he probably will.
Yeah. I wouldn't. Well, I mean, there's so many others to get rid of. I mean, why would you get rid of him? He's just worth.
Guys are good too.
Well,
Yeah,
actually,
absolutely.
Oh, sure. Look, but I'll level with you guys. The reason I was asking wasn't actually to do with whether or not we should get rid of him this week. The reason that I was asking is that he's replacing Hinchcliffe. There are a lot of Melbourne pet plays that involve going back on the inside to Hinchcliffe or Hinchcliffe short, putting him through that gap in the attack, and of course Hinchcliffe does a fair load defensively. And I'm wondering...
Wouldn't that be nice?
Yeah, I'm wondering Harris going in there,
do you
he
remember
performed well all year.
when they went over to England? When they went over to England, he played a similar role. Like when he, and he just went, he went gangbusters. I think he even scored a try, didn't he?
He did, and I checked out his stats and calculated them up and came up with a score of about 53 from memory. Guys, don't shoot me out there in Dream Team World if I'm off, but 57. Thank you, Banksy. See, this is why I have Banksy around. Aside from the fact he signed my paycheck, but he really did score well, and there were a few errors in that, and of course he's had a few games under his belt. I wouldn't be surprised if we see an NRL season high from Harris this week. Just quietly putting it out there. He says quietly putting it out there in the middle of a Dream Team podcast going out to DT Tragics. Didn't think that one through. Good thing I don't make DP bets. All right, Gareth, your moment to shine, my friend. The Warriors. What have we got?
The Warriors. I mean, hands like feet is gone. So the Viciardi's come in, and I mean he's value, but he won't score that much. But like, who else we got? Well, that's about it, really.
How about that Nengi Lamape?
Yeah,
but he's been there for a while. But I noticed he's moved into the centres. Wasn't he on the wings there for a while?
He started on the wings.
Yeah, because Tupou was out as well, so like Tupou's back in, so yeah, centres, that's actually interesting. Yeah,
he played the last two games, I think.
Did he?
Yeah, yes.
Well, I'm showing my lack of knowledge here of Warriors. I'm going to get shot by all my Kiwi mates, but like, the other thing I noticed was number 18 down there, everyone's favourite, Rapati. I mean, if there's ever a guy that hurts a fan more, it's Rapati. He is glass. I can't, what's he even doing there? But that's it.
They probably have they don't want to bring up the youth because they've brought up the youth already. The quota of one youth back player per year. Yeah, so hopefully I've isolated all my Warriors friends, and with my lack of knowledge, that's about all I can say on the Warriors. I wonder who will captain too with no Mannering. No,
well, that's right. Either. Well, yeah, so who's come in from him? Ben Henry?
Ben Henry's coming.
Yep, he will come off the bench to come in, yep.
I think
Johnson's back, guys.
Oh, he is too, yeah. Jesus, there's a few changes there when you think about it, isn't it? Oh, I never look at the team because I don't own any. But yeah, there's actually a couple in there, isn't there?
Yeah. Some good players here.
Yeah,
got about 5 injuries. Fresh this week.
I'm all done, so you guys take over there.
Well,
Apart from just the coach is a loser, I wouldn't have him.
You did for a few years, mate, so you're kind of like the jilted ex-lover.
By the way.
It took a while to drop him, didn't he? No, he's such a nice bloke. He's such a nice bloke, but geez, he's like Brad Fittler, he's out there with the frickin' fairies. He's just a lunatic.
Nobody can be out there with fairies like Brad Fittler.
Yeah, like 10-minute Freddy. But anyway, all right. I've got a quick question for you guys. There's been a lot of talk through the week that the Warriors have successfully signed Sam Tompkins, I believe it is, who is an
Nice.
absolute gun fullback coming over
Nice.
from English Super League. Now, they've pulled an English Premier League style move whereby instead of signing him to big money, and I'm sure there's some big money involved, but in order to get him released and get him over as soon as possible, they've actually been reported, and I stress being reported because we haven't seen anything official, to have traded him for 3 of their own players. So the
Wow.
Warriors will send 3 of their players over to Sam Tompkins' club, and the name escapes me at the moment. Sam Tompkins
Wigan.
will come over, Wigan, there we go. Sam Tompkins will come over to the Warriors
I can hope so.
and start playing immediately is what the rumours are and that sort of thing. The question that I have for you, gentlemen,
It's got disaster written all over it, even though he is a fine player.
oh, look, he's a phenomenal player, but who are the
It-
3
it's gonna-
Warriors
Yeah.
that you reckon are going to be traded for Sam Tompkins? Keep in mind, if I remember correctly, he's the incumbent national English fullback. Is that correct?
That is correct.
Yeah.
He models his game on Billy Slater.
Mm.
I couldn't even start thinking about who it would be. I mean, first of all, you got to see if it's true or not. But like, I mean, geez, are they first grade players or are they just like up and comers? Like, 'cause,
First grade?
I mean,
First grade?
first grade. Wow.
Mhm.
I think
I don't know because I mean anyone that Warriors had to get rid of that played first grade Panthers have already bought. So I don't know who's
I've
who's
got
left.
a
I mean,
guess who it could be.
Yeah.
yeah.
Could be
Well, I mean,
Marty, either
Oh.
Locke or Fishahi, and probably one of the Lausey brothers or Steve Rapira.
Rapira. Yeah.
I think,
Oh,
and,
dear.
and look, if I was to take a guess,
Tearing the team apart. What are they doing over there? They're just ripping it to shreds.
oh, look, in all honesty, and I've got to be careful how I word this because we don't want to get sued. So this is all allegedly. It's all rumor and everything like that. Just check with the legal department. Yes, that's sufficient disclaimer. Thank you, legal. The word that I'm hearing from my insiders and people close to the Warriors and Kiwi reporters and all that sort of stuff is that there is a lot of discontent within the Warriors camp that Tony Iro did not get the head coach position. And
Talk of Ackland, isn't there?
well, it's not that. What I'm thinking is they may be getting rid of a few of the players who could be stirring up that unrest. Now, what I'm about to say is completely disjointed to that. I'm now going to have a guess at who the 3 players are that I think could be going, and I must stress this guess has absolutely nothing to do with the previous statement. I don't know who those players are that could be causing discontent or anything like that. I'm looking purely as if I was to bring in a world-class fullback, who would I send and had to send 3 players over, who would I send over? I think Jerome Rapati, just because A, he's a centre and B, he's always injured. So, that could be a pretty good way of extending his career and getting him off my books. I think Kevin Locke, because if you've got Sam Tompkins, why do you need Kevin Locke, particularly with the amount of outside backs that the Warriors have coming through the ranks? And I think you could be on it too with a Steve Rapira or one of the sort of the second tier forwards there.
Or
Maxie.
Sam. But having said that, I mean they're not sheep, are they? Pardon the Kiwi pun there. But like these people have to want to go as well. I mean, this is their lives. They got families. They got lives in New Zealand. So I mean, like you can't just say, okay, well you can have these guys. I mean, these people have got to want to go. So you got to look at that as well. It's a deal good enough for them to go as well. I mean, they can't just go because they're told to go.
Absolutely. Well, I mean, I don't know what's in the contracts, obviously, in the NRL. What's scary, just as an aside, like in American baseball, they can be traded at any given time, and they walk into work to training that morning, and it's hey, pack up your bags, you're going over to this other team.
Yeah, right.
And that's it, you know. And I certainly hope the NRL never becomes like that because I think it's quite inhuman.
Hmm.
You know,
yeah, we're not there yet. Yeah, but who are we tipping? I mean, obviously, I think Storm. You just can't tip against them. Not with the big three, you know.
Nah, look, you can't tip against.
But having said that, the Warriors always perform when they come up against the Storm down there in Melbourne. Like they always give it to them. It's a traditional thing.
The Warriors are at Amy Park or Olympic Park to the Storm are as the Canberra Raiders are at home to the Dragons. They are a Hooters.
And the Warriors have got a fairly strong side. I mean, the backs are a bit of a worry, but like, you know, they're pulling their weight. But yeah, I mean, the Storm will get home, I think, but Warriors will give them a shake. I wouldn't be tipping the Storm 13+ this week.
I have to disagree with you. I think the Warriors are going to win.
Do you? Well, that's a shock that you're disagreeing. Yeah.
I know. I always it's the best side. They've got no Vadivai, they've got no Mannering. What more do you want?
Yeah. There's 2 away teams that you've tipped so far.
And with 2 underdogs too.
Yes. Yeah.
You know what it is,
I'm
Gareth?
starting to see a pattern here.
Yeah. You know, mate,
I guarantee he's going to tip the Rabbitohs next.
Mate, look, I tell you what, just on the slide, we let him do an interview in the.
Am I right? Am I right? Thanks.
And his confidence is through the roof, mate. He's unstoppable.
Actually. I'm going to pick the Seagulls.
I'm dragging it out. Go, guys.
Let's go. Seagulls, Rabbitohs. Who we got, Banksy?
There is no, what's his name? Glenn Stewart named, but watch late team list. He could be a late inclusion.
Yeah. Look,
all
of my Manly insiders, and I've got a number of different sources of information at Manly. Every single one of them is saying he's playing. So definitely watch those team lists 30 minutes before the game.
I know he's close, yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
And then Rabbitohs.
Who moves out?
I would,
if he does play.
David Gower.
Yeah, I think Gower.
Yeah, Gower off the bench.
Okay, I'm wrong.
Yeah, sorry, mate. Off you go.
The Rabbitohs, Bo Champions into the centres. I can't remember who was there with Goodwin last.
Was it Farrell?
Farrell.
Farrell.
Farrell he's in for Farrell. And the rest of the team is, as per program, Nathan Peets gets starts back on the bench after his showing in the City Country game. Michael Crocker still struggles to get named in the top 17, named 18th man again.
How can you name him when you've got gorgeous George Burgess?
Yeah, Crocker won't play. I can't, unless there's an injury, he won't get in. That team's solid.
Drop Ben Lowe.
You could, but...
No, but he won't. No, he won't. Ben Lowe's doing all right this year. Doing better than Crocker. Crocker's not... He hasn't been playing well.
Yeah.
You know, yeah.
Okay, so who are we tipping in that one, boys?
Sea Eagles at home. Brookvale Oval. It's hard to win there.
Yep, I'm saying they're Seagulls at home.
Yeah,
it'll be close. Rabbitohs are such a good team this year. I mean, it's hard to tip against them, but like Sea Eagles at home, they just know how to win a game. They know how to nut it out, and if it's tough and if it's hard, they'll get down and they'll get dirty and they'll grind it out. They'll just grind it out and they'll win.
Yeah. Look, I'm not going to tip either way. All I'm going to say is there's going to be less than
no.
You can't do that.
No, you got to make a call, mate. You got to make a call.
All right, I'm going to do a Banksy and just say Rabbitohs. For no other reason. I think this game. I really could not pick a winner out of this game. All I can see in this game is it's going to be a ripper of a game. Very close game. Yeah,
it's going to be a ripper of a game. I mean, I don't get to watch as much football as I used to, but I'm going to try my best to get to see that one.
Yeah, well, it's Friday night footy and kick-off 7:45, and it's going to be like the Rabbitohs Storm, Rabbitohs Bulldogs game. And just on that note, I'm not a Rabbitohs fan. In fact, the Rabbitohs are like my second or third most hated team. But got to give mad props because when you consider what their opening to the season has been, they've played last year's grand finalists. They're now playing Manly Seagulls. They've played last year's premiers, all in the space of about the last 4 or 5 weeks, and they've only gone down to the Melbourne Storm. You know,
oh yeah, they're in it to win it. There's about 3 or 4 teams that are, you know, really up there, and they're one of them. Yeah, I mean, maybe up to 6 are really in with a shot, but like, you know, yeah,
2 to 3
they're one
of them
them
are outside dark horses. Like they're you know, if all the conditions, you know, the cards fall the right way on the day, they'll get there. But there's a lot of cards that haven't.
And then
the
they'll
right way.
Collapse in a heap in the finals.
Yeah, maybe.
Are we recording? Sorry, I shouldn't have said that. Sorry, South Fee.
Oh, you're talking South Sydney will collapse in a heap in the finals, right? Yeah, well, I mean,
they will.
That's just a given. I mean, that's like saying the Dragons will choke. I mean, you don't really need to say it. It's just a given. All right, moving on. Cowboys, Raiders. Banksy, Matty Bowen's back for the boys from the north. Hello.
I'm all for salad. I'm all for salad now. All of a sudden, he's a wonderful player.
And
what a great guy.
I dropped out. I dropped out during that. Whatever it is you were saying, I dropped out. I've turned around and I've gone, all right, boys, Cowboys versus Raiders. Matty Bowen's back for the boys from the north. Banksy, what are your thoughts? And everything went silent.
He'll be back.
He will be.
If we're still recording, why don't you go on to the Cowboys? Cowboys-Raiders game.
The Cowboys have they've got their returning players of Bowen and Johnson and Tamalamo back in their team, and they've dropped Green Shields. That'll be Roth Mueller, and I can't remember who was playing. Ashton Sims was his 18th man. He played last time.
Lou would be due back soon, wouldn't he?
I doubt he'll get a start with Michael Morgan back there.
No, but he'd get a bench spot. Like,
no, Ray Thompson's there.
Yeah, no, but they seem to like him. I mean, I'm not a fan or anything, but like, you know, they really want to give him a go, and he showed a little bit of promise.
He definitely played well in his first game back, you know, and then he sort of busted up his leg, and
I think when he gets fit again, like he can't be that far away either. I mean, if it's not this week, it's next week, surely, maybe the week after. I don't know, but like, I think when he's fit, he'll probably find a way back in. So yeah, keep an eye on him anyway. Just keep him on your watch list, I think. Even though I'd never have him in my team, I play with my heart a little bit with Dreamteam, and yeah, so I don't tend to have people I don't like in there. But for other coaches, maybe keep him on your watch list because he'll make a comeback, I think.
Yeah,
I can't see more. I can't see more coming back. Like I know they spent a lot of money on him, but yeah. He just didn't show it, did he?
Give me more. Give me more. Give me more.
Has anyone mentioned who else we got in there? We've got Tarek Sims. He's doing a good job at the moment.
He's doing a little bit of Jason.
Cost Jason. Gosh, yeah, he's doing well. He's only 220,000, something like that.
Yeah, look, he's definitely priced well. There you go, Banksy. There's you know, you're screaming for a cheap hooker and a bit of a cash cow hooker. It costs Jason.
He's worth considering. I mean, he didn't even play a full game last week. I don't know what he got. I mean, I don't have Dreamteam open, but I know he scored well last week. Pretty much doing. How much?
He scored a 37.
He got 37.
Yeah,
37. I know he only played about 50, 60 minutes, not even 60, probably about 50. So that's pretty good value.
And keep in mind too, the first couple of games of the season he was coming off the bench. So his scores have been 21, 22, 42, 8 and 37. The 8's a bit of a concern, obviously, but I think there was something special that happened there.
Oh, yeah. He wasn't first string then either. Like I noticed Dallas Johnson's back too. I don't know what went wrong with him, but he's back and he's been
concussion.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's been getting some good scores, you know, and these are people you got to try and consider coming up to the bye rounds because Cowboys are good for the buys, you know. So
Oh, absolutely.
it's hard to find the gems, but you know, if you are thinking of swapping and chopping and changing, I mean, Dallas Johnson, he makes a good go at the points, you know. He's pretty reliable. Just, I mean, he doesn't do anything but tackle, but I mean, tackles add up, don't they?
Oh, they always do. But just on the note of Cost Jason, that score of 8, look, he just had he had a shocking game. That's all it comes down to. There is minus 21 in things, penalties, missed tackles, things like that. So that's the worst game he's had this season in that regard. So I'd
call
put
that a blip.
Yeah,
Absolutely. Call that a blip.
Absolutely.
Yeah. And Glenn Hall's still there. He all he does is tackle. He's cheap at the moment, you know. Just these kind of people to consider as you're going through.
Yeah, definitely good for the bye rounds because the Cowboys play right through to round 15. I believe it's just pulling up my colourful bye chart. Thank you, Banksy. You know, the Cowboys' first bye is round 15, so that means you get plenty of good value out of them in round 12, the first of the big bye rounds, and then, of course, the small bye round in round 13, which, I mean, you get the best out of most players there, but the Cowboys are still there. So, you know, that's going to save your trades. If you've got them in now and they're scoring points for you now and you're picking up those value players who are scoring well, that's going to save your trades down the line.
Yeah. Sorry to bring it up. I know we're going to talk about it later, but I agree with you.
Yeah, absolutely. All right, boys.
So, how about the Raiders, mate?
Raiders have a few injury concerns. I believe Shillington is out. I believe Papali is out to a knee surgery in the rep weekend.
Yes,
so
that's right.
How long Shillington out?
I'm not too sure, sorry.
Yeah, we don't know about Shillo, but we know Papali's 2 to 3 weeks.
Right. I mean, Shillington will be back, will he? I mean, like, because he's pretty much got a spot in State of Origin if he's fit, but, like, you know, it'll make things interesting if he doesn't make State of Origin, you know, so that's the only reason I'm asking.
We'll bring in Maguire's an opportunity too.
Maguire would come in if Shillington wasn't there, for sure.
Yeah. Or Lilliman if they were for the old trusted.
Thoughts on Campese guy? On the bench again, and apparently going to be used that way this week. He's not going to slot straight back in, as far as I know. And the fact they've got Joel Thompson on the bench as well. I mean, what's all that about? You know, I know he's on the outer there, but on the bench, geez.
I think they probably just know he's on the outer, and they probably just want to give Joel Edwards and Jake Foster from the Bulldogs, I think he came from, a start and give them some experience playing bigger minutes.
Paul Vaughan, he's a prop, is he? I think
He's a prop, played for the Mounties last week.
Real young fella, isn't he? Yeah, that'll be interesting. But I mean, obviously he won't probably even see 3 weeks worth of points.
Look, if you are to jump on Paul Vaughan, you'd jump on him after week 2, where he's named for week 3.
Yeah, or if Shillington gets fit and he's State of Origin, he might get another go during the bye and rep season.
The Raiders have round 12 and round 18 as their buys anyway, so and he could play round 15 for you.
Yeah, they're pretty rubbish for buys, aren't they? Yeah,
they are the worst.
You're spot on.
They're one of the worst ranked ones.
Yeah.
All right, boys. Let's move on to the Tigers now.
Who we tipping?
Oh, sorry.
Cowboys.
Yeah, I think
Cowboys and Raiders. Cowboys at home. Cowboys. Yeah. All right. Too easy. Next one.
All right, let's have a look at the Tigers. Looks like Mick Potter, who's every Dream Team coach's favourite team listing coach, with his copy-paste method of teams. This
Control C, Control V.
Can I ask a question? How does it take Mick Potter till 5:30 every afternoon to copy and paste his team from last week?
Oh, look, he must still be working on UK time. That's about the only thing I can put it down to. But this week, boys, he's actually done something different. He hasn't just copied and pasted. What he's done is he's written down all the names of his top 19 players, stuck it in a blender, and then pulled out the shreds.
In no particular order.
Yeah. Exactly. He's pulled out the shreds out of the blender and gone, yeah, that'll do. We've got James Tedesco at number 1 now. I know a lot of Dream Team coaches are going to be wrapped with that. I mean, that's we've been screaming for Teddy to play fullback for, what, I don't know, all year. We got Joel Reddy on the wing. Blake Ashford, comes in the centres, and Chris Lawrence in the centres. Curtis Sirinen in the 6, playing outside of Tim, we love you, Lolson. And that love you is very sarcastic love, dripping with sarcasm off the edge of the dagger that we have felt you've stabbed us with many, 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 many times.
Hey, he had one good game last year, about 6 rounds in. He made a good bit of money before I traded him out.
He's not too bad this year. I mean, I wouldn't touch him, but he's not terrible this year. But in the halves he'll suck. Yeah. I can just see a lot of going on watching Molson in the half.
All I've got to say is I think you summed it up perfectly. When the great Gareth Lasky says he will suck, and let me rephrase. When the great Gareth Lasky, known for diplomacy and politically correct speech, says he will suck, you can pretty much take it to the bank.
Watch as he goes and scores 50 Dream Team points this week and rubs it in his face.
Oh, look.
I'll buy him.
Oh, mate. We'll hold you to that because we are recording, Darren. I don't know if I mentioned that before. We're recording this.
That'll never happen.
This will be another.
Take that back.
I don't know. We might get sports bet on it, mate. You'll have to buy him on your mobile phone while doing a nudie run down the Kingsway at Cronulla Beach.
So what's doing with Fulton on the bench?
He's back from injury.
Still coming back from injury, I think.
Yeah,
look, he is so entrenched in team class. He really is. I mean, but it's not even a point about Dream Team. He doesn't even affect people's team now because no one will buy him. But the problem is he affects what other players you have, and it's he still drives you mad even when you don't own him.
Oh, look, for sure. But look, the word is I've seen a bit of Twitter action from the NRL Moly Mole, and he reckons he was chatting with his good mate Bryce Gibbs, who reckons that Fulton will play. Now, that could affect Matt Bell or Bodine Thompson in the back row for the Tigers there.
I think he might come off the bench.
Yeah, he could come off the bench, but he's got to be aware.
Who's Sean Spence, by the way?
Some random dude he's pulled up from one of the club teams they have around them, I bet you.
He's the wild card. He's Mick Potter's wild card. The way that things are happening down at West Tigers at the moment is you go into the West Tigers Leagues Club, you jump on a random pokey as selected by Mick Potter, and if you win the jackpot, mate, you get to start in the team that day.
Because I don't want to scare Farah owners because I am one. But let's face it, Farah has a niggle. I mean, most of the niggle was just to get out of city country, of course. But Fulton
allegedly,
and Fulton does play hooker. Yeah. I don't know. I'm worried, but I still love Farah. I love him to death. I am so happy that I own him this year, and if he plays 80, I'm over the moon. But I don't think I'll be captaining him this week.
Yeah, I don't think he's a good pick.
There's something in the air. I don't know. He might do 80, but I don't know. Maybe if they're well, I can't see him smashing the Broncos, but yeah, I don't know. There's enough niggle in the air to make me not want to captain him.
Yeah, no, fair enough. And you mentioning Sean Spence, you've got me a little bit shaky. I certainly won't be captaining.
How's he not on Dream Team yet?
That's it. He's flying under everybody's radar. Oh, really? There you go. Lone Scout, get off your backside.
He debuted last week. I'm just checking him up.
Boys, there's one other thing we need to mention here, and that is Jack Buchanan. Look, he's coming back from, I believe it was a fractured cheekbone or something like that, so he's had a couple of weeks off.
I was going to say a smashed face, but that's close enough.
Yeah. I can just imagine you after a few beers, Gareth. You'll walk up, we'll be at West Tigers Leagues Club after a game. Jack Buchanan will walk in and you walk up to him after a few brews and go, Jack, mate, I just want to let you know you've got a face like a smashed crab.
It's still not as bad as Matt.
It would have to be a bloody lot of beers for me to do that.
Oh, mate. And you know what?
Still not as bad as Gareth.
As responsible as ever, Gareth, I'd be there at the bar stool going, go on, mate, go on, you should do it. Go on, I dare you.
Not a chance. Not a chance.
All right, boys. Broncos, anything we need to look at here at the Broncos?
Just that Maguire's back.
Yep,
I
coming off
believe.
the
I'm
bench.
just trying to click for my things here. Maguire's back, and that's pushed Sliney out to 18th
Yep.
man.
Yep, excellent.
Yeah,
And
there's
who are
not
we tipping,
much
boys?
else changed there. Oh, geez, I think Broncos maybe in a tight one. The Tigers just have so many missing. It's hard because, I mean, the Broncos, they're doing all right now. They're doing all right, even with that half pairing they got.
Yeah,
I think the Broncos will get it.
Banksy.
Boys?
Yeah, I'm thinking the same way.
I'm
But
just.
I want to make a quick comment.
Yep.
If you
Mhm.
got Farah, if you're going to captain him any week, this is the week to captain him.
All right, I've got to ask
Well, he
why.
likes
I'm
making
gonna
it.
bite.
Yeah. Yeah, go for it, mate. Tell us why.
Who's going to be talking?
You.
Well, we're asking you.
I thought you were going to talk Jay.
Why?
No, we've just sat here and gone, yeah, let's not captain Farah, and you've come in with that. I reckon you should
If
captain
you're going to
this week
captain
of
him,
any
this is
week.
the week.
He
And
scored
I wanna
90
know-
last week with Anasta there holding the ball. With no Anasta there, he's going to hog the ball himself, and he's going to do all the kicking. He's going to do everything for that team.
I reckon
He'll
you
break 100
underestimate
feet.
Curtis Sirenen. No, I reckon you underestimate Curtis Sirenen. The kid is gold, mate. The
He
kid is
played
gold.
last week too, and he got now 90 then.
Yeah,
but-
I get that. I get it. If he was 100% fit, and I'm hoping he is, yeah, he'll go big. But what the doubt is he 100% fit? Well, okay, if he's not, I'm not going to put a captain on him. That's for sure.
Mm.
Not when Smith is so reliable.
And when Mick Potter's already sat there and said there will be times that I'm going to rest Robbie throughout the year, and he's not going to like it. But you know, it's a big call, Banksy.
Yeah, I don't know, Banksy. I don't know if this is a week, but if he scores another 90 or whatever, I'll still be happy even with no C next to him.
Yeah.
That's still killing from a non-owner of him though too. So
Yeah, I
Yeah,
think
well,
I
there you
think
go.
Banksy could be throwing out a red herring to try and.
Ha
Who have you got head to head this week, Banksy?
no idea.
I don't know. There was hesitation there, Gareth. What do you reckon, mate? I smell bullshit.
It actually might be Gareth's son's team.
Oh, here we go.
Ah.
Here we go.
I have no idea.
All
I
right.
honestly don't.
He only just bought Farah in too. Yeah, there we go.
Yeah. All right, let's move
Okay.
along. boys.
Moving on.
Titans versus Knights. Looking at the Titans, Luke O'Dwyer into the centres. Brad Takarangi still not quite right with his hamstring. Unfortunate. David Mead is out for 4 to 5 weeks with a fractured cheekbone. He had his cheek
Ouch.
operated. Oh, sorry, jaw it was. He had that operated on. He finished the game. He broke it with about 15 minutes to go, and to his credit, he finished the game in round 6. And as soon as the game was over,
Yeah,
immediately
solid.
went up medical tent, and he's out 4 to 5 weeks. So Anthony Don, that NPR Nuffy that we all sort of jumped on just in case he might get a run, looks like he could see a couple of price rises. So
One of the very
nice one
few 101,000 players that are actually playing, and that, they're going to be in the
absolutely.
team for a little bit.
And you know he's taking over the wing of David Mead, which is the go-to wing for the Titans. You know, David Mead's the leading try scorer in club history, and you know I wouldn't be surprised if we did see him pump out some decent sort of 20-point scores. Now moving on, Aiden Caesar is back in the 6th jersey. Albert Kelly, of course, is back. Matt Schramer is back, and the big one is Dave Taylor is back after a stellar performance for Tweed Head Seagulls over the rep weekend. He really put in, and the big change that earned him his jersey back was a huge shift in attitude. Basically did a 180 shift, which was really good to see. So Dave Taylor coming off the bench, Luke Bailey, Ryan James, Beau Falloon. Steve Michaels named as 18th man. He could swap in to the centres if Luke O'Dwyer is not fit or pulls out for whatever reason, but I'd expect Chalky to play in at the number 3. And as for the Knights, Dane Gagai is back. And are there any other changes there, boys?
Kurt Gidley's in hooker, but like, you know, we talked
there.
about before, he's still getting needles and everything like that. he's still not 100% fit, and Waddell's there on the bench. I don't know if he'll stay on the field or not. I reckon probably another 50 minutes from Gidley.
Yeah, nothing more, nothing less.
Well,
Could be saying very less.
Well, while we're on the topic of this game, Jay, can I just ask you a couple of questions that I'm sure I'm not the only person who would like some answers to?
Yeah, sure.
Your thoughts, because you're a Titans fan, mate, and you know them better than most people I know. Can I get your thoughts on Minicello and James?
Yeah, look, absolutely. Mark Minicello came back. He'd been sort of in Queensland Cup obscurity and by all reports had not been performing in Queensland Cup. He came back in as a result of the spate of Titans injuries and just dominated. He played brilliantly, really stood up and filled that gap against the Eels that, all those injuries had left. Keep in mind Ben Ridge is out with that pectoral injury, which is who Mark Minicello is stepping in for. And he played really well, and it speaks volumes to the fact that he's been named in the starting side. He came off the bench filling in for an injured player, and he's been named in the starting side to replace a different injured player this week with everybody else but that player back. So, I'm pretty keen to see how he goes. I think there's, particularly playing in that 12 position, he was running strong, he was busting tackles, he was really quite Mark Minicello of old, to be honest with you.
Well, the reason I ask is I look at your bench. You got Taylor, Bailey, James, and Falloon. Now, when Ridge comes back, does Ridge not get a spot, or does someone drop? I mean, who drops? I mean, they're all star players. Does Minicello go completely out, or does someone like Ryan James end up dropping out as well? I mean, who goes?
Look,
or does Ridge not get back in?
It's a really tough call, and to be honest with you, it's going to be a wait and see because, we don't know how long Ridgie's out for. Last check that I heard, it was indefinite. It is a pectoral muscle, so they can be quite finicky. They can be a little bit like hamstrings where, you've really got to sort of nurse them. Now, you can definitely say Beau Falloon is not being subbed out. That hooker rotation between him and Matty Shrama, they've got it down pat, and it's
there to stay. That's right. Yeah. I agree with that. Yeah.
Absolutely. Dave Taylor, look, he's back after disciplinary action, but all accounts have his attitude 100% turned around. So I doubt Reggie's going to bump Dave Taylor. Ryan James, I mean, how can you bump Ryan James after the start to the season that he has had?
He's been outstanding, but a lot of people are now worried about his last game. I mean, 21 minutes?
Yeah, 21 minutes for 21 points.
I mean, there's no doubt that he's outstanding, but is that his lot in life now? Is he a 20-minute player now?
No, look, I don't think we'll see Ryan James as a 20-minute player. The thing you've got to keep in mind too, Mark Minicello has been...
He's worth keeping anyway with... Yeah.
And the big concern for me, and this is, look, I've never bought Ryan James. I really wanted to when I saw him after the Indigenous All-Stars game. I really wanted to jump on him, and I didn't because I saw everybody else jumping on him. So I thought, you know what, I'm going to go for something that's a point of difference. And that is the only reason I didn't jump on Ryan James. But the big concern that I see for Ryan James is not how many minutes he's going to get. The big concern I see for Ryan James is he impressed Laurie Daly in the Indigenous All-Stars game. He's had a dominant start to the season, coming off the bench, and his work rate has been phenomenal. He scored his first NRL try ever. His tackle bust, his tackling, the whole works has been awesome, and he's very much been impressive. I think we may lose him to Origin, and that has been whispered around a fair bit, and I think that is quite...
I don't see that. No, I don't see that. Yeah. Daly is really keen to try and keep as many as the last year's mob as possible. I can't see someone like Ryan James getting in this year. He's definitely going to be earmarked, but I can't see it this year unless the third rubber's a dead rubber,
Keep in mind, 18th man still doesn't play for his club side. There
Yeah, he
have
does if he
been.
doesn't play.
Well, if he doesn't play, he might. Yeah, all right, fair call.
Because Cherry Evans was
That's
18th,
right,
I
yeah.
think, and he didn't play. Yeah.
But with just keeping in mind, look, I understand you guys disagree with me there. The whispers that I've heard is that he has been very heavily considered for Origin.
I'm glad you said something like it's nice to get all the information and everything, and you take what you can, you take it from every angle. But like I tend to think that James won't get a spot. He wouldn't get.
The other thing I will say on that topic is, if you are in the camp that you've heard the same whispers I have and you think that he could get picked for Origin, don't jump off him until you see the team list for Origin. Until you see him named. Because if he is not named in Origin, then Greg Bird will be, Ashley Harrison will be, Nate Miles will be. That means Ryan James...
And Taser maybe.
Yeah, and the Titans buys are really good, for your overall player, Yeah,
There's
for
two
sure.
big buys to play.
That's it. They're right through. Again, their first buy is round 15, so they're their first buy is round 13, which is the small buy, and then they don't have another buy until the big buy in round 18. So they're very, very, very good buys to have. And Ryan James, if he steps up to fill in the Nate Miles role, because don't forget this guy, he can play second row. He could be slipping into play for Greg Bird or Ashley Harrison, depending on what happens there. There's going to be some big points, particularly with the work rate that he's displayed, coming off the bench.
I think anyone who gets rid of Ryan James right now, I know a few people are talking about it, and I think, it's panic trading if they do from one bad game. I know a couple of people have been talking about it, and it's like, I wouldn't be getting rid of him right now.
Yeah.
So, who do we reckon's going to win that?
Titans, because it's Skilled Park.
I think Titans too. Knights are so hot and cold, and I agree with you. Skilled Park Titans will come away with the points.
Yeah, look,
no point asking Jay.
No, it'll be Titans by 60 if he hits World.
No. Look, I honestly don't think it'll be Titans by 60. I think it'll be Titans by under 8. I think it's going to be a tough game. Teams always sort of seem to step up and play very, very well up at Skilled, and the Titans have their work cut out for them winning at home, as we saw last year. I think it'll be Titans by under 8, and I think we'll see that it'll be a win on the back of Dave Taylor's return to form and improvement in attitude.
Very good.
All right, Banksy. Sharks, mate.
Yeah, Jonathan Wright's back. Todd Carney's back. Robson's still there. No Leica. It's annoying the crap out of me. I want to see him there.
You love that young
As a
kid.
Shark supporter, not only as a Dream Team, but as a Shark supporter too. But it's a team you'd expect that would be playing. Stapleton keeping his spot on the wing.
Graham starting instead of Hyington.
That'll probably change on game day. It's like Orbison.
You're right.
God, that's
always
When are we going to see Tagger again? Probably not until the bye round, say.
We won't even see him there. So play
Till the rec games.
We play buys around 12 and 15.
And
So
I've just
take
got to
everyone
say,
out.
Everyone's favourite player.
I say it every
we've-
single week. If you're not on Tagatese, give yourself an uppercut. You've got to have him on your side.
I mean, there's only two must-haves, and that's Cam Smith and Tagatese.
I love Tagatese who seem to stick in the rotation.
Oh, yes, absolutely. Gotta love it. Hey, Trent Hodkinson back for the Bulldogs, playing his second game in a row.
OG.
No, I fixed myself. I said Hodkinson, but I
good.
really, really hope he cements that number 7 spot. In fact, I'm sorry, Banksy. I'm hoping the Bulldogs win because I know Hasler will not change a winning formula. And Hodkinson is amazing for us DT coaches come bye rounds.
He is cheap as chips, but
143.
can he get any points? I mean, I'm just going off the one game that I saw this year, and I'm glad he's back because, like, you know, he should be the halfback. I've got no doubt he should be the halfback. I mean, when he was playing for Manly and that, like, he was outstanding.
Yeah.
Outstanding. What's happened to him? You know, he's just disappeared off the face of the earth. And his kicking game, last game, I mean, it was one of the few games I got to see on the weekend, and his kicking game was atrocious. He's got a lot to sort out, but if he can sort it out and keep that spot, well, he'll be gold. He'll be gold over the rep only because of his price, you know.
And his price. Also, didn't he have a leg injury last year? A couple of leg injuries last year.
Yeah, look, he did. Plus, there's always the rumours about falling out with Desi and all that.
I've heard he's on the outer as well. Yes.
Yeah.
Look, but what player isn't it? The Bulldogs.
Yeah, well, that's exactly right at the moment. But he had -9 in that score too, so that score sort of looks like about
the club's
a
mess. I mean, look at. Remember the game they played against the Storm? I mean, they were outstanding and only just got beaten. But I mean, they've got so much talent. There's something going on at the Bulldogs because, like, their team is. Yeah, well,
hey, boy, let's move on. Let's not get sued. Let's not get sued.
I need to go see this guy. You just keep going.
Yeah. Let's just move along here. Moving along. Tony Williams. Are we going to see any points from him?
We'll see his usual 20 points, 30 points from standing still walking up the line.
Yeah, fair enough.
He's not showing it this year.
Yeah, nah. Who are we going to tip, boys?
I'm not convinced.
He's lazy. Williams is lazy. You say he's lazy? Williams is lazier.
I'll tell you who's doing all right is that Josh Jackson. I mean, I know there's a few people coming back, but they're not going to. He'll stay in that side as a starter, and he's just going from strength to strength, that guy.
He is. He played really well last year, back in the last season for them.
And don't forget, like, I mean, look at the Bulldogs side. I mean, it's a strong side, yet they're not performing. But if they hit their straps, there's going to be some value there, and the only person in the whole team that's going to miss out because of Origin is Josh Morris. So, I mean, if they can click, there's a lot to pick from.
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely. All right, boys, who we tipping? Sharks or Bulldogs?
I'm gonna shock a few people here. I'm gonna say the Bulldogs. I don't know when they're gonna click, but when they do, they'll win big. But you know, I'm gonna pick the Bulldogs.
Banksy, do I need to ask?
Just a gut feeling. Just a gut feeling.
Of course, you need to ask.
Plus, Banksy's such a Sharks fan, I thought I'd stir him up a bit.
Can't stir me up. It's too late to stir me up. Sharks win. Sharks win easy. Sharks plus 30.
Oh, big call. Mate, I'm going with Lasky over there. I want to see the Bulldogs get up just so the Hodko keeps his spot.
They got a good team. They got a good team. It's a matter of when they sort their shit out. Oh, yeah. I'm not allowed to say that.
Yes, you are.
Yeah.
Okay, good.
Mate, we've dropped the F-bomb already in this show. The S-bomb has been thrown around like it was candy. And speaking of S-bombs, F-bombs, and just about every other bomb you can drop, Lewis Brown named for your goddamn Panthers in the centres. What the hell?
I mean,
that's Ivan Cleary.
But I mean, even in the centres, he'll still knock out a 30. There's no point getting rid of him yet. His break-even's only 14, I think. So, like,
yeah. Got one more price rise than him.
And you think about the centres that are there. I mean, besides, you know, Gordon and Inglis and maybe Jennings, like, I mean, everyone's averaging about 30, you know, on an average day. So, I mean, that's easy's money. He's not going to make money. He's not going to lose money. So, even in centres, that's what he's going to get. He's going to get about 30.
Oh, damn you, Ivan Cleary. But, yep, next week, Brown's gone for me, I reckon. He's becoming another Gidley.
The only thing about Brown is he's a good price. So, and the buys are bad, so he'll be a good influx of money for for kiddies that are really, really struggling for money to get some big names in, and he's someone that you can lose and can afford to lose and bring in some good dollars. So that's something to think about with Brown. But like, give him one more week to make a little bit more money.
Yeah. Oh, look, I will. But he's not even in my
week
17 at the moment.
Yeah.
So
he'll go up another 10 grand maybe, but one more week and then drop him and start buying in someone else. Yeah. You're probably right, Jay. It's almost his time to go.
Yeah.
But I mean, new fullback.
New fullback, Matt Moylan. Now, there are some raps on this kid. The kid's got skills.
He's a talented kid. Do you buy him? I mean, who you got? You got Mansell coming back in 5 weeks. You know, it's hard. Panthers aren't very good for buys or anything. It's like, should you bother? I don't know. I don't think so.
Look, I think if you're going for overall right about now, it's, you know, you've got to be concentrating on trading that benefits buys, and Matt Moylan unfortunately does definitely not benefit buys.
And Matt Moylan's one of those players that you'd get in and lose in about 5 or 6 weeks, and it's like, at this stage of the year, you're more looking for your keepers and long-term players and cash outs. So I don't know, but I'm as a Panthers fan, I'm happy. At least we've got some good talent to back up the people who've lost. In my opinion, I know Panthers aren't everyone's cup of tea.
I want Austin, but he's injured.
Look, it's all right, Gareth, mate. It's, you know, we've got no rules here. Banksy and I do enough spruiking of our own teams, and we try and preface it with a look. I know I'm biased, you know, hoping that somehow alleviates the bias of our you know, following comment. Of course it doesn't. It's blatantly biased, but it's our show. Well, it's Banksy's show, and he lets me host, and I do the recording of it, so he's stuck with me.
Did anyone mention that Nathan Smith is back in the first grade scene?
I really didn't want
to. I think a lot of people. I think a lot of people have kept him, and I think when we were off air, we were talking about Nathan Smith, and it's like, I still have him in my team, and I honestly would have preferred him staying off the team. I'm hoping he doesn't get a run. I think he will, but I hope he doesn't, because I don't think he's going to get his 33, which is his break even, and that's going to drop him in price, and I really need him at 148, I think he is, and I need him to stay there. But at this stage I've kept him, but geez, I can't see him getting 33 off the bench.
Yeah, I think it's going to be a big ask, and I think that's going to hurt a few people.
He does have a big ask, yes.
Yeah, right. Thanks for taking it there. Let's move on to the Eels. It's clearly getting late, ladies and gentlemen, and we're digressing into uncharted territory.
You brought it up.
I said it's a big ask. But,
I gotcha. Right,
you
sorry.
know, now we know why you follow the Panthers, at least. But anyway. Eels, only real big one there. We got Kalipi Tanganoa starting in the 12 jersey. That could change with Joseph Parlow or Darcy Lussick coming into starters, as they typically tend to mix and match. Matthew Ryan back into the 17. Otherwise, team is as it has been the last few weeks. And Ricky Stewart, $10,000 poorer, is the coach, as we all know. And geez, haven't I had fun with that this week, with a few memes and videos and all that sort of good fun stuff.
Yeah, you have.
I've loved it. It's been great. Who are we tipping, boys?
You don't have to ask me.
Yeah, enough said.
I've never in my life tipped against the Panthers. I've lost many, 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 many bets on the Panthers because I just can't tip against them.
Fair enough, fair enough. And
I think the Eels might, if Panthers don't shape up and don't stand up to them, the Eels will wipe the floor. I'm still haunted by Jared Hayne tearing us apart 2 years ago, and to this day it haunts me. But like, Panthers like to play the Eels, and we like to give it to them, and we never win big against them, but you know, we might play for the 80, and if we do, then we'll come away with the points. But if we don't stand up, the Eels will just run riot. Might be a good time to get on some of those Eels if you got them. Put them in your team. Locko, Morgan, Hayne will go apeshit.
Yeah, well, I got to say, I'm sorry, GL, but I reckon it's going to be an Eels party. A couple of reasons.
Even Sando might do all right.
Yeah, look, he might
becoming
do.
cheaper and cheaper.
He is. But after last week with Ricky's efforts with the refs, they'll get a fair game called. It'll be the best ref game thus far this season. They'll actually call things that happen.
I mean,
they'll call it.
I know fans say this all the time, but I think Panthers are the most heavily penalised team in the competition, and I know all fans say that about their own team, but I think it's true. I think it's true with the Panthers, so.
Yeah, look,
we'll see how it goes. But geez, I hope we stand up. I'll be so happy if we can at least make a fight of it. And if we can win in extra time and make Eels lose in extra time like they used to last year, well, I'll be a happy, happy man.
And you know what? I think we can leave our team lists on that.
I think we will.
I think we've rabbited on for quite some time on our team lists. Let's move on. We're going to have to move quickly now. So essentially what we've got, coming back to the bye rounds, which has been a theme of the last couple of shows, the Great GL has put together a list of, teams that definitely work well over these bye rounds. There's 7 teams that if you are trading for the byes, you should only be trading from, as GL put it. What are these 7 teams, mate?
Oh, well, I mean, you've got the Dogs. They play all 3 of the major byes. You've got Titans, play 2 of them. Bunnies play 2. Cowboys play 2. Bronx play 2. Storms play 2. And Eels play 2. So, I mean, if you're an overall player and you're trading for the bye and rep rounds, well, they're the teams that you've got to target. There's just no point buying other ones. I mean, you're not playing it right if you're going outside those 7.
Yep, no, fair enough. All right, well, let's have a look at some
That's
players.
for buying, you know.
Oh, yeah, for sure. We'll have a look at some of these players, and I'll pull out some names at random, guys. I'd like you both to offer an opinion on them, and, we'll go from there. So, look, we've discussed Trent Hodgkins, we've discussed Tony Williams already tonight earlier on. Let's have a look at Michael Innes, guys. Potential hooker option for the byes. What are your thoughts? Gareth?
No, he's too ordinary, and it's not even that. I mean, yeah, his byes are good, but you couldn't go past McCulloch. I mean, if you're going to stray from the Farrah-Smith formula, you might as well go McCulloch. You might as well go big, because I mean, you've got to save enough money to get your gun back. So why not get the points? So McCulloch is the only hooker you could really buy if you don't have, Smith and Farrah.
Okay, fair enough.
I wouldn't touch Inglis even with his byes.
What would I do? Well, I wouldn't grab Innes because he's not a very good scorer at all. He's scoring mid-30s, he is, and he's staying at that, and he's just not impressing. Not an impressing team.
And that's him playing fairly well too. He's not playing crap. He's playing pretty well, but I mean, that's the best you can get out of him. 30s.
Yeah. No, fair enough. All right. Let's have a look. There's a few players you've listed here as being worth to keep throughout. Let's have a look at this one. Actually, this is an interesting one. McQueen, Chris McQueen, second row centre.
Oh
yeah. Why? He has got really great byes. He's reasonably priced, and he's a centre. I mean, you wouldn't buy him if he was only second row, but there's going to be very little choice. He's pretty reliable. I mean, once again, he's in the same score range of about 30, but I mean, it's regular 30, and it's reliable, and he's not going to be repping or anything, so he's not a bad pickup, I don't think.
I already have him in my team. He's part of my 3-pronged centre attack.
and I bet you're not going to let him go either.
No, I'm not. My centres are set.
I wish I'd had him because I wouldn't be mucking around with my centres so much if I'd had him in the team.
Yeah, my centres are set with McQueen, Idris, and Loco, with Jurilo as substitution for Michael Gordon for the round 18 coverage.
Idris is another interesting one. I mean, I can't, once again, because of like how New South Wales want to stick with the same team, I can't see Idris getting State of Origin, even though he's in the frame, I guess you'd say. I think he's a good buy too. I think Idris is a good buy for Dream Team.
How can you go past Josh Morris and Michael Jennings as the centres?
Yeah, you can't.
Yeah.
You can't.
That's a really fair statement there too. All right, let's move on. Obviously, we're going to have to go through these players in a little bit more speed. So we took a bit of extra time with the team list. John Sutton, geez, he's having the year of his career thus far. What do you boys think, Gareth?
Well, the thing with Sutton is, okay, yes, he's really good, but he's expensive, and there are so many other halves. Halves is the one position during the bye rounds where you'd have no problems having 4 halves gunning it through the rep season. There are so many to pick from that won't be playing rep football, and so you don't need him. You don't need Sutton. I mean, he's going really well, and he'd make a good point of difference. But yeah, you don't need him. If you don't have him, don't worry about him. There's so many others. I mean, you got to jump on Caesar. I mean, Caesar is one of I think he's the only player that's averaging over 50 that plays 2 of the big bye rounds. I mean, every other person over 50 is either rep player or is only playing 1 of the bye rounds. I mean, so you'd have Caesar, you'd have Kelly. Kelly's the same. So I mean, you don't need Sutton. It's just, it would be a waste of a trade. I mean, unless you get him as a point of difference. But yeah, what's the point? There are other ones who are doing just as well. I mean, good on Sutton, and if you had him from the start, well, you'd be laughing, but you wouldn't buy him now.
Yep. And Banksy?
Basically the same, really. And just to back up on Gareth's point, there's only 5 players averaging over 50 points in the halves. Cherry Evans, Maloney, Caesar, Sheridan, and Thurston. Thurston's got Origin. Sheridan probably won't pay late, but he's also got 2 big buys. Caesar's got the best buys. Maloney's got 2 big buys, and so does Cherry Evans.
Yeah. Okay. So that makes him pretty much a must-have. All right, let's have a look at a little bit of value. We sort of touched on this a bit earlier on. Rory cost Jason.
If he can keep the spot.
Geez, that's a big if, isn't it?
If he can keep the spot, I mean, maybe. I mean, once again, you're talking about the hookers there, and I think just before we finish, we might chat on the hookers a little bit, but so I won't mention too much about it now, but yeah, I don't know. I don't think he's worth it. I mean, yeah, I don't even know if he's going to keep the spot.
Yeah. And Banksy, mate, he's certainly one that we're throwing up as for you to consider, and to get rid of Scott Moore, sorry. And Butters charges me every time I say Fleas, by the way. He's got a copyright on it, cheeky bugger. But, mate, what are your thoughts on Cost Jason?
He does have some good key work rate stats, as in tackles and some run meters. He doesn't really bust any tackles. He's got no tackle busts this year. He did assist an up try last time out, so he is a sneaky little buy. And I am looking at him, but I'm not too sure if I'll get him or not.
Yeah, no, fair enough. All
He's
right,
not maybe worth the trade.
let's have a look at a couple of.
Jay, can I just, while you're talking about
Yeah.
players and that, just very quickly, I think you got to mention James Graham. I mean, he's coming back very soon.
Absolutely, yeah, good
Next
call.
week.
Round 8.
And if you need to have him. You need to find room for him because he'll do just as what he did last year. He'll just gun it, and he plays every single major bye round, and he might even lose a little bit of money in the first couple of weeks because he's been out for so long. So by the time he's up to his third week, I mean, he'll be just right for the pick, and he'll be right at the right time just before the rep games and everything, and he might even be just a tiny little bit more cheaper. And yeah, you got to pick him.
Yeah, look, and what you've stated there is exactly what my plan is. You know, I'm going to wait for him to get those two games out of his system, as I think it'll take him 2 or 3. But you know, that way we'll sort of get to see what he's going to do. If he's going to drop for that third game, well, hey, that's cool. I'll hang back and I'll wait for that price drop to come in, and as soon as I think he's bottoming out or he's starting to come good again, I'll jump on him just in time for the bye rounds. Certainly no later than round 12.
Which player would you drop out from your team?
Look, I've got to find the money somewhere to do it.
Buckingham for me. Buckingham for me.
Yeah,
Buckingham's.
It's Buchanan, by the way.
Oh, is it?
Yeah,
I apologise to all the Buchanans out there, yeah, Buckingham will. No, I'm only stirring you now.
I keep
no,
going.
I mean, his buys are pretty shoddy, and
yeah.
he's by the time Graham's ready for the pick, and Buckingham will be ready to drop because he'll be his money.
Yeah, and I think too, like I think Buchanan's got about he's got maybe another 50-60k to go.
No, if he keeps scoring 50s, like 40s as he has been, I think he's got another 100k in him.
Oh look, you know, and I hope he does, because it makes the trade to Graham a lot easier for me.
The higher that Buchanan goes, the slower his rise will be going, and so you can hold on to someone too long, and like I said, like 2 or 3 weeks in after Graham's been playing, he'll be right to go, and he's a great swap. And money wise, I mean, Buchanan will make it. He has already made a shitload, and it'll be a good trade because I mean his buys are terrible.
Yeah.
12-18.
Yep, absolutely, and that's the trade that I'm looking at there to go to Graham. I'm just going to have to, you know, find a little bit of extra cash to throw into the kitty with the other trades that I'm making to prepare for the buys. But yeah, no, I'm glad you mentioned that one actually, because Graham and that strategy for bringing Graham in, I think is definitely the way to go, particularly if you're playing overall.
And the one other person I wouldn't mind having a chat about is Ben Barber, not for off-field stuff. I mean for Dreamteam.
Yeah, look, I think he's got a huge crash to happen in his price, but I also feel that round about that round 12, as we start to go into the rep rounds, that's when you're going to really want to be looking at picking him up, because I feel he's going to be bottoming out then, and he's also going to start to come good as far as his scoring goes.
And we'll know if he's fair income by then, you know, like we'll know if he's sticking around or not, you know. We'll know by then, by the time he's bottomed out, we'll know whether he's ready to go or not, you know. You'll just know.
Absolutely.
So he's definitely one, regardless of anything, to keep on your watch list. And once he's hit rock bottom, price-wise, you'll know whether to pick him up or not, because if he's firing, well, we all know what he can do. I mean, look at him last year, and if Bulldogs are firing, he's firing, you know, and he'll just score try after try after try, and he'll be worth having.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, but I mean, the beautiful thing is we've got time to watch him. You know, his break even is 105. If he
absolutely, plenty of time.
His projected score for this round is 35 points. If he makes that, he drops $45,700. That drops him under the 300k mark. And yeah, he more than likely won't make 30. So there's some big drops coming for Benny Barber, and look, he's definitely one to watch, and definitely one to sort of hope and basically be a vulture with, really. Pick him up as he bottoms out.
He's definitely worth just always keeping in the back of your mind, just in case. Like, give up on him if he's not showing the form by the time he's hit rock bottom. I mean, look at Bowen. I mean, he was outstanding in parts last year, but this year he's got nothing. I mean, I'd already give up on Bowen. I mean, I know a lot of people are jumping on him and have already jumped on him, and it's like, no, he's a dead duck in the water. But like, you know, that's what you got to look out for with Barber as well, because like, you know, you'll know if he's dead in the water or if he's ready to shine. So yeah, definitely keep an eye on him.
Yeah, and hearing you say that about Bowen too, look, Bowen's one of the ones I've been looking at, and I'm waiting for him to bottom out. I think over Origin he's going to score a few points because he tends to move into the halves, or you know, he tends to take more of a kicking and leadership role in that Cowboys side.
He certainly did last year with kicking, yes, but
Yeah.
I just don't see it this year. I think yeah, you put your money on the wrong horse if you go with Bowen.
Yeah, look, it'll be interesting to see, and I think, you know, what you've just said is sort of going to give me pause. I'm probably going to have a look at improving other areas for the buys, and I can always come back to Bowen a little bit later down the track.
Well, his buys are good, that's for sure.
Yeah, well, that's why I was considering him. You know, just his buys are really good, and I expect him to do well over Origin. But you know, we'll have a look. All right, we'll
just
do.
Before you go on,
yep.
Just before you go on, I just thought I'd mention, in case I didn't get a chance to before. I mean, yeah, if you're going to play overall, now's the time. You don't want to buy any more rep players.
Yeah,
no more rep players, and who else have you got? Your Sea Eagles, Sharks, and Panthers. They're early buys, and so you don't want to buy any Sea Eagles, Sharks, or Panthers until at least round 16, because after that they've got no more buys. So that's when you pick them up at round 16, and yeah, that's about it really.
No, absolutely.
With that.
All right, guys. Well, rather than move on to the Storm and Eels players, keeping an eye on the time, and I know it's got to be just about sun up time. For
I apologise. I talk like I write. I just ramble on. So thank you for putting up with me.
No, look, it's awesome, and I know that, you know, look, it's a rare opportunity to get you on the show, and you know, one of the things that Banksy and I discussed in our pre-show planning, all 5 minutes of it, was that we would not look at the clock for this particular show, because, you know, being that, you know, look, to get you on the show as we sort of wanted it a few weeks back, and schedules didn't allow, and of course, you know, the mentors group voted for you to be here, so we're very grateful to have you here, and more than happy for you to ramble
nice
on, mate. Mate,
I think I finished equal with Alan Loves Aunties, but yeah.
Yeah, look, I don't know what that one's about, but I'm going to find this Alan Loves Aunties and get him on the show. I reckon it could be not so much DT chat, but it'll be interesting.
I have one little story just before we move on.
This is a bedtime story?
The New Zealand Warriors were putting up a poll for who they think the wingers should be for their team. I think it might have even been a rep game, might have been a New Zealand game. And
I think it was the Kiwis.
Yeah, I think it was the Kiwis. And we got Alan Loves Aunties as the second highest pick for the winners for the New Zealand New Zealand Kiwis team. And I was very proud of that, because no one had a clue who Alan Loves Aunties is, and I was very proud. And I'm very disappointed also that he didn't actually get to play.
Oh, that's just, yeah. Only on Facebook and you know, in the geek environment could something like that be pulled off. All right, we're going to skip over Storm and Eels.
My mate Alan Ross, and he is a true legend, both on and off Facebook, and my hat's off for him, because he puts up with a lot with the aunties reference.
I think one day you're going to have to explain.
That's all I'm saying. That's all I'm saying.
Look, we've got to move on. We have to move on. Let's move on to the Farah and Smith dilemma. Do you hold one, both, or either over these bye rounds?
I reckon we let Banksy start with this one.
I think so too.
I've actually thought about this one.
Excellent. Well, Banksy, I'm going to let you do that. I'm going to jump off the headset to solve something quickly while you and GL have a good chat about this one.
Yep, hopefully I won't fall asleep. All right.
That's why I'm letting you talk.
So you've got Farah and Smith as your hookers. Farah misses. They're both going to be the Origin hookers. You're going to almost guarantee that. So you're going to miss 12 15 and 18 with rep duty. That's fine. They always miss that. And Cameron Smith also misses 19. So if you're going to trade out either or of them, you trade out Cameron Smith because he does have a history of being rested after Origin. So he will get a decrease in points, which might get his price lower. Also, he misses an extra game. So assume you trade in McCulloch as the only viable option. Assume Smith would score 60 points as he has been a week, and he would play 13, 14, 16, and 17. So that's 240 points you've scored. And you can even say he's going to score 65 points. It's 260 points he scored. McCulloch's going to score 50 points a week. You're going to get him playing 12, 13, 14, 16, 17, 18. You're playing 6 weeks. You've got 300 points. Is the 2 trades worth the extra 50 points? 50, 60, 40 points you're going to gain?
Well, no, it's not. I mean, it's a tough one because last year and the year before, a little group I was in, we kept track of it, and Smith missed 4 weeks that time. I mean, he played 4 out of 8, and we kept track of about a dozen hookers over that period of time during the rep season, and Smith still was the second highest hooker overall with just total points, not an average. He was still the second highest hooker, so it's really hard to let him go. But then if you've got Smith and Farah, that means you're playing without a hooker basically for at least 3 games of the season. But having said that, I mean, no, it's going to be, I can't imagine anyone having 17 for those 3 weeks anyway. So someone's going to miss out anyway. So why not make it a hooker? You know, why not play without a hooker? It's so hard. But McCulloch, if you're going to drop someone, yeah, okay, Smith would be the one because he misses the extra week. But and Farah, the way he's playing, he would probably score more with the extra game. So you'd keep Farah and drop Smith. But I mean, if you're going to drop Smith, you'd have to do it for McCulloch because no one else would be worth having in that spot. But I mean, in my opinion, oh gosh, if you got both of them, you might as well hold on because it's not worth the 2 trades for, what did you say, Banksy, like 50 to 100 points? I mean, it's just not worth it. Not especially that time of the year when trades are like gold and you really want to hold on to a couple. I mean, why waste 2 to try and make it up? And then you've got to get him back in and, you know, you have that extra money. Well, that's right. You've got that extra money, and of course, no one's able to save that. Once it's in the kitty, you spend it, and then you've got to try and get him in. No. To me, just in my opinion, if you got Farah and Smith, well, you just keep them and you cop it. And unless you're in the top 100 or something, and you really, really, really need to wheel and deal and keep hold of the top 100 spot and go for the gold. But like, you know, apart from that, if you're just a normal pleb like the rest of us, you know, yeah, and you got both of them, keep them. In my opinion,
that's what I'll be. That's if I had them both, that's what I'll be doing. But I'm not looking to bring Farah in. I'm looking to bring in a supplemental player into that hooker player, and then get Farah after the buys.
Are you looking for a gun, or are you just looking for someone to do until the buy rounds are over?
I'm looking towards a Isaac Luke, or a maybe even an Ennis, but I highly doubt it because there's no.
So you've got a little bit of money to go there then.
Yeah, I can get a little bit of money
because yeah, because Luke's not cheap. He'll do the job, and he's got great buys. He's. I mean, if you didn't go McCulloch, Luke's the one to go to. But like,
well,
yeah,
McCulloch's already 400k.
Yeah. Well, I mean, Luke's not cheap either, you know. And he's good.
Luke's 332.
Well, actually, that's not too bad, is it?
Yeah, he's averaging about his last 3 round average is about 44.3.
Yeah, and so Pete's doesn't look like getting any time, so maybe Luke's.
He's played, I think, the last 2 or 3 weeks without Pete's on the bench, or Pete's has got very, very limited time, and that's helped his score dramatically. So with Pete's back here, I'm still not.
So you're not looking for a you're not looking for a cheap hooker just to fill in the gap. Then you're looking for
I'm
someone
looking for one of those two.
to run with.
Cos Jason's on the
Yeah,
radar
yeah.
for that, but it's just so hard
What
to waste a
when's
trade.
Hinchcliffe back? Because even with Smith in the
Yeah.
team, Hinchcliffe has been scoring well.
Oh yeah, I think Hinchcliffe is back. I
Round
think he's back
13.
right on time for that.
Mm.
I'm
I mean, he,
not too sure about him, but I might
Yeah.
look at him. Well, I am looking at him.
but you won't want to hold on to Moore that long, though, will you? You want to start getting rid of Moore now. I mean, that's a lot of money sitting there doing nothing.
It's only 180k. I say like it's nothing, but it's 185k.
True. Yeah.
And I've got depth
Yeah,
elsewhere to cover.
Mm.
And that's the thing. I don't
Yeah,
know much about it.
well, really, then yeah, there's not much other choice really. I mean, you got the Titans hookers. I mean, they're both scoring fairly average, close to the 40 mark. But
But that's another thing that's really putting me off Luke and the Titans players. I've already got quite a few of those players from those teams already in my team. So it's weakening my team well too much with 13.
with the week that they're off, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, Luke probably looks like a fairly good buy, but I mean, he's about his money. But if he keeps getting larger scores, you know, I'd get him sooner rather than later.
I would be too, but I just got to open up the cash for it.
McCulloch you can wait for because, I mean, his price will come up and he'll go down and come up and
I
go
don't
down.
think go on that much.
Yeah, no, that's what I mean. Like, you know, you can wait on him, but I mean, if you're going to get Luke, you'd probably get him sooner rather than later.
Mm. Yeah.
So I wouldn't look at I wouldn't look at Innes. I know his buys are good, but yeah, on his best day he struggles to make 40. On his worst days he's 30, mid 30s.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, I'm thinking doing a Farah to McCulloch. I've got both Smith and Farah, so maybe Farah to McCulloch, and then bring Farah back in, and that can be my two hooker trades. Is just keep Smith there, or going the other way.
How many
But I
points for that game you over that buy period?
yeah, well, I mean, it's going to depend on where I'm
It
positioned
depends
as well.
if Farah backs up. If Farah backs up, then it's probably not a worthwhile
You
trade.
would assume
but,
Farah would back up.
I think so. I think because Gidley's there, I mean, Gidley's on the bench. I mean, I don't see Farah playing 80.
You see Gilly's not being injured by them?
Yeah, good point. I just don't understand why Gidley's there. It's just, yeah, anyway. That's a personal thing. I know he's a legend of the game, but, yeah.
But I mean, that's
understand.
possibly, and we do drift off topic by me saying this and certainly inflame some passions, but that's possibly one of the reasons New South Wales are, trying to prevent an 8th series defeat, because a lot of the sides they've picked over the last few years, they've picked legends of the games. They haven't picked entirely on form. Some have been picked on form, but there's blokes who have held their spot who probably shouldn't have held their spot.
But Daly's not going to change that. Daly's, I mean, the team will be 80% at the very least, the same as it was last year. He's not going to chop and change it. He just won't.
Here's what I think the New South Wales team's going to be. It's going to be Stewart at the back, Hayne on the wing with Brett Morris on the other, Josh Morris and Jennings in the centres. It's going to be Pearce and Maloney in the halves. And it's going to be a higgledy-piggledy forward pack, which I don't really want to predict right now in my very tired state.
Yeah, we've definitely. I reckon we've set a record here for the longest show that we've put together. And
My apologies.
Look, GL, as I said, mate, we removed all the time limits because we knew that having you here, mate, listeners would stay with the podcast and pretty much all the way through, just to get the pearls of wisdom that you had on offer. They're certainly not here to listen to me. There's a few here listening
if they
to
did, they're better men than I am.
You've just switched off now. You've got no idea what's coming out of your mouth. Is that what you're trying to tell us?
Oh, I'm just saying, I'm on the podcast and I don't even know if I could get through it all. But I've had a great time, man. I've really enjoyed it, and I really appreciate you guys asking me to come on and talking me into coming on, because I'm a fairly shy person and everything, but I've really appreciated it and I've had a lot of fun. So thank you very much.
Look, our absolute pleasure, and it's I'm glad you've come on board. As you know, we sort of wanted to get you on a few weeks back, and obviously life was pretty hectic. And look, I will admit, Banksy and I had a little bit of a sneaky discussion about should we put it up for discussion and for vote as to who should be on the next show, and sure enough, it worked. We got the great GL on board. People power.
Fun, and it was
awesome,
nice
mate.
to catch up with you. Yeah,
Yeah.
It was really good to talk to Banksy too, because I've known Banksy for a little while now, and I've never had a chance to talk to him either. So it's been good to catch up with him.
Absolutely.
You've heard my voice before, though.
I have, yes. Well, you've heard mine too.
Yeah, but boys, hang on. Look, I know occasionally we drop the S-bomb and the F-bomb here and all the rest of it. We still try and pretend we're a family show, so let's not make any references to those 1-900 numbers you boys work out.
Whatever, big boy.
It's a done deal.
Yeah, look, Banksy, I know you're coming for me, man. I know there's some sort of revenge plot building for all of the mum jokes and all of the basement jokes and everything like that. So knowing that it's coming, I'm just making sure I get my money's worth, because I know it's gonna be huge.
I'll put your mind at ease. It's not this week.
Yeah, well, that's it, because I'm about to wrap up the show. So unless let's
No.
30-second payback.
No, you hang up first. I just know this is going to take 5 hours for you to say goodbye.
No. Look, I'll try and wrap it up in about 90 seconds. But look, I do have to say thank you very much to our loyal listeners, particularly if you've managed to get this far into the podcast. You've done a fantastic job in sticking with us this long. We hope it's been worth it.
Anyone who hears this message right now, they deserve a medal. Well done, guys. Well done.
Absolutely.
Getting through the whole thing.
Absolutely. And Gareth, I don't know if you're aware of this. Butters was quite proud that he was involved in our longest podcast to date, and you've pretty much smashed that record, mate. So it's
Only just
I beat Butters again.
Oh
yes.
No! Oh no! What have I done? I've mentioned. Oh goodness! This is going to start a whole new flame war.
Every year I beat him. That's wonderful.
Oh my god, we're going to have to give Butters a right to reply. That's another 6-hour podcast. Oh my god.
Make sure we start this one earlier, please.
Yeah, absolutely. Look, ladies and gents, thank you very much for sticking with us this long. If you have, it's certainly greatly appreciated, and we hope you've got plenty out of the extended podcast this week. I'd like to thank Gareth Lasky for joining us and for overcoming that shyness and jumping on board. It's not easy to walk in here, particularly with a raving lunatic like myself and the hairy beast that has become Nathan Banks over the last few weeks.
You're welcome.
Banksy, mate, I want to say a huge thanks to you. It's got to be, nearly 2 a.m. there over in New Zealand, and mate, you've stayed up and stuck through it. Well done with your interview of
what
GL
a hairy trooper.
Mate, he is. Mate, I'm really stoked. You did really well with that interview, so mad props, mate. Well done. And that's it, guys. We've got round 7. It's coming up. We don't have an extended break. Thank Christ for that. We've gotten through it. Yes. Just quickly for my mates. Yes. They want to hear me say it. You ready? Yep. Booyah! And on that note,